Throughout the years of watching NBA basketball, we've seen our share of players that get overlooked for the things that they do, like doing all the dirty work, or being that good screen setter, or players that became their team's defensive anchor. And from being undrafted to becoming the backbone of his squad, this particular player puts it all on the floor every single night and takes the challenge to guard the opposing team's best player on a nightly basis. And in today's game, the best players don't even guard the best players anymore. But this hard-nosed, low-profile 6'8" forward route to the NBA was nowhere near being easy. And with all that being said, this is the story on how Dorian Finney-Smith conquered his way to the NBA. Dorian Finney-Smith was born on May 4th, 1993 in Portsmouth, Virginia, to Desiree, as she raised 6 children as a single mother. She would clean houses when Dorian was young just to afford basketball travel fees. And growing up in the Portsmouth, Washington projects, Dorian and his brother Ben would actually have to share bunk beds, and they didn't even have cable, so none of his siblings fought over the TV. Dorian even explained, saying, "I didn't even know we were struggling. Everything was just fun when I was young." His mom would stress the importance of education and would not just pile her kids in her Jeep Cherokee, but would also pile up other kids in the neighborhood and take them to practices and games. And at Dorian's games as a kid, everyone knew who his mom was because she was constantly the loudest ones in the stand, as she would yell, "Box out and bend your knees." And as his love for the game continued to grow, his mom would then buy him a basketball goal for him and his siblings. But Desiree had one neighborhood rule, and that was that his siblings had to be included in every single game that went on. And as Dorian and his siblings got older, his older brother Ray Sean would become a standout football player, along with being a captain and an ROTC member of the Norcom High. And while playing in his very last high school football game, Ray Sean would go on to have an ecstatic night, catching 6 passes as he led his team past rival Deep Creek in a win. But after the game, Ray Sean and Dorian attended a party hosted by Deep Creek students. And this is where a fight would break out during the party. A 23-year-old man left the party and returned with a gun. And shortly after, the 23-year-old man would get in a physical altercation with Ray Sean, which unfortunately resulted in him shooting Ray Sean in the chest 7 times and shoulder. And the crazy thing about it was Dorian was only 15 at the time and saw the whole thing. Dorian would explain, saying, "I didn't get in the ambulance because it just happened so fast. I didn't know what to do." And 2 weeks later, Ray Sean would pass away. But the killer was convicted of the murder and was sentenced to 27 years. And just like any other person, this would take time to heal. He knew he had to continue to lock in and keep grinding. Dorian would forego going to Norcom High School, where by junior year, he would average 19 points, 13 rebounds, and 6 assists per game. But just at 16 years old, Dorian would welcome his very first own daughter to the world. And she was a gift to him, as it reminded him to keep going, despite his tragic loss. And by senior year, he would manage to average 18 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 blocks per contest, and would also lead his high school team to back-to-back championships, but was also named the Class 3A Player of the Year, and followed by that was First Team All-State, and was one of the most dominant players in his class at the time. And this would ultimately have schools knocking at his door, like Virginia Tech, Florida, Wake Forest, just to name a few. But Dorian would then choose to sign the letter of intent to play basketball at Virginia Tech. But he would only play there for just 1 season before transferring to the University of Florida, where he would actually have to sit out a whole year due to the NCAA transfer regulations. And during that time, Dorian said that this was the best thing that could have ever happened to him. Because while he was sitting out during that season, Florida basketball head coach Billy Donovan would actually insist that Dorian get therapy, as he needed to work and heal through the trauma that was revisiting his head constantly of his brother getting shot. So he began to feel guilty on the fact that he thought this situation could have been easily avoided, as he thought he could have did something to stop it. But as time would heal, Dorian Finney-Smith would go on to have an exceptional career at Florida, where he would win 2014 SEC Sixth Man of the Year and also earn a spot on the SEC Academic Honor Roll. He would lead the Gators in rebounding for all 3 seasons on the team and scoring. And to tally it all off, his 1,820 career points at Florida would rank 36 in school history. And by his redshirt senior season, he would also manage to score 14.7 points a game for the 2nd straight season. He would become the best rebounder for the 3rd straight year. And by this time, he was looking to get drafted. But as he entered the 2016 NBA draft, he would actually go undrafted. And prior to the draft, NBA scouts were a little bit skeptical on his unorthodox shooting form, and so they did not want to gamble on him. But on July 8th, 2016, he would then start his NBA journey in the Summer League, playing for the Dallas Mavericks. And for his rookie season, he would only be able to put up 4.3 points a game, but improved it by his 2nd season by upping it to 6 points a game. He would start to see things pay off by his 3rd season, as he signed a 3-year, $12 million contract. It was safe to say that around this time, Dorian's playstyle became a hot commodity around the NBA, as NBA GMs fiend for 3-and-D type wings. Dorian would become that perfect complementary piece to Luka and be able to take that defensive load. And by the 2018-19 NBA season, Dorian would shoot 37% from 3. But the next year, the Mavs would fall short to the Clippers in the NBA bubble. But fast forward to today, where Finney's work and dedication would no longer go unnoticed around the league nor the Mavs front office. His work and commitment to the team ultimately got him granted a 4-year, $52 million contract. His discipline and motivation just wouldn't allow him to quit and waver. I mean, you can see it. This is a guy who comes to work every day willing to get better day after day. Finley would explain, saying, "My mom doesn't have to work at Church's Chicken anymore, as she can now be awarded the luxury. The hard work that she instilled in her son would finally pay off." And because of that, his 5 other siblings, raised by his single mother, would go on to get college athletic scholarships. This season though, Dorian has managed to average a career high 11 points a game and shooting an outstanding 39% from 3. He's been a tremendous help to the team throughout the season and has shown some big moments during this 2021-22 season. He took the next level, the next step, as he hit 8 threes versus the Suns in Game 4 of this year's playoffs. This would be more made threes in a playoff game than Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Kevin Durant, LeBron, and Kobe. But Dorian hasn't just been doing great things on the court, because he's put together the Finney Family Foundation, and he basically described it as the mission to inspire the youth to become productive members of society by providing to the community. The trauma he has seen as a kid and the fact that he was able to stay on track because he knew he had a bigger purpose in his life. NBA scouts were saying he wasn't good enough and he didn't have a prototype jump shot, only made him keep working and striving, which allowed him to earn a permanent role on a playoff contender team. And in the end, Dorian Finney-Smith has earned every single NBA success that has come his way. And with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is the story of how Dorian Finney-Smith conquered his way to the NBA.
For Finney-Smith, Booker with a miss. Ayton had it knocked away. Brunson back the other way for Dallas. He checked Finney-Smith.